today to show you how easy gluten-free brownies are in your Thermomix. So if you're looking for something a little special, or maybe you're going to have a friend over and you just need something sweet and nice, this is for you. And it's gluten-free, but it doesn't have to be gluten-free. I'm going to talk you through how to make it both ways. So if you're not ordinarily gluten-free, I bet you've got the ingredients you need in your pantry to make this. So let's get started. It is on cookiedoo.com.au. Great for guided recipes to step us through. So first thing, preheat your oven. Second thing, line a tray, and I've done that already. And then, and it says wet baking paper. I didn't wet mine. Oh well, just work with what you've got, all right? First things first is 100 grams of unsalted butter cut into pieces. In that goes. Second thing is some water. I forgot to bring that in. I'm gonna leave it with it out. I'm just looking to see if I had a water bottle here. I don't even have that, so we'll just leave it. And then we've got 170 grams of dark chocolate. It says obviously if you are making for a gluten-free friend or family member, make sure it is the gluten-free variety. But today I've only got 150 grams and mine is just Lindt chocolate. And actually mine is a 85% dark, but you could use like anything from about a 70 up is usually dark. Okay, on with the lid and the measuring cup. And we've got a 5 minute at 50 degrees speed 2. So I'm going to spin this up to speed 2. And go grab that water. I think it was 50 grams of water, and I'll put that in as well, and I'll meet you back here in a moment. So 5 minutes, 50 degrees, speed 2. See you soon. Okay, I've come back a few seconds early because I just wanted to show you, look at that, does that not look amazing and luscious? And it reminds me of when I used to have to do it on the stovetop over a water bath and how much mess I would make. And I'm so grateful to have a Thermomix that does that for me, melts it, combines it, and I did add that water as 30 grams of water off camera. So how cool is that? All right, I love as well, like the Thermomix cleans itself afterwards. How much of a game changer is that? All right, next up we've got some caster sugar. It says 100 grams. I'm using a monk fruit sweetener. If you've only got raw sugar, use what you've got, okay? If you've got only brown sugar, use a brown sugar. Honestly, use whatever you've got, but in this case, make sure it is powdered form because it's otherwise going to affect your final product. I'm short. I do have some more sugar up the back. We're all good. I'm like, well, I leave it out. Okay, now if I left it out, the reason I hesitated, and I'm just going to, bit of a teaching moment, I guess, you would lose your gooiness of the brownie. So brownies are that gooey, luscious texture, and the sugar is part of that, I guess, caramelized gooiness. So if you don't have that quantity, and I know it's a lot of sugar, but it's not an everyday, it's not an every week food, it's an occasional food, yeah? But that's what the sugar does, is it does that gooiness. So that's why I was like, oh, will I leave it short, won't I? I want that gooiness. If I'm going to indulge in something like this occasionally, I want it to be amazing, right? So on with the lid and the measuring cup. And it's got just a 10-second combine before we start adding our last ingredients. And as I made mention earlier, this is gluten-free. However, the next step, it adds gluten-free plain flour. If you don't have it, you don't want it, you don't need it, then just use plain flour. Okay, that will work perfectly fine in this recipe. So, first things first is some vanilla, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I make my own, it's the vanilla paste off Cookie Doo. It's amazing. Actually, I'm due to make another batch. You can see how thick this one is at the very bottom. So I'm just going to guesstimate 2 teaspoons. And you know what, if I didn't have it, I'd leave it out because this is just chocolate gooey macadamia yumminess. So I wouldn't worry. 2 eggs, in it goes. Next, this is your gluten-free flour. It's only 50 grams. It's very little flour, okay? That's because of that gooiness. If you had too much flour, you wouldn't get gooiness in it. All right, there we go. Next, a pinch of salt. That just actually sweetens it further. It makes your sweetness taste even sweeter. On with the lid. And then we've got 2 ingredients remaining. Oh, sorry, 5 seconds, speed 4, off it goes. Now we need our macadamias and our white chocolate. So it's got 80 grams of white chocolate. Again, something I had to buy. I would actually, if I did buy them for you guys, okay? I went and bought them. I don't think, except at Christmas time when I'm making treats for people as gifts, I very rarely have this in my house. But what I was going to say with that is if you didn't have it, the next best thing would actually just be some milk or dark chocolate. All right, so don't Again, if you don't have it, there's ways to swap it out. Or maybe you like sultanas. Maybe you're actually not a white chocolate fan at all. You know, I can't eat white chocolate on its own at all. But mind you, I can't do dark chocolate either. Look at that. Can you see that gooiness? Yum, yum. All right. So, focus, Lisa. Let's get it done. So, white chocolate, 80 grams. So I did buy them today, but of course you could swap them in with other things. Dried fruit, 88 it is. Now some macadamias. Again, I bought them for today, but you could be using some almonds, some anything, whatever you've got, right? But I would chop the almonds down. I wouldn't have whole almonds in there because I don't think that would be gooey enough. Like macadamias are kind of soft enough. Cashews would be fine in their whole form. Okay, 80 grams. And on with the lid, and we're going to mix this through. I'm going to get the dish out that we're going to cook it in. So it's got 10 seconds reverse now, so I'm going to chop them up, speed 2. So it's combining that up for us. And done. Transfer to the prepared tin and bake for 25 minutes or until just firm. Allow to cool completely and then cut into squares. Now, why are you leaving it to cool completely? That's so you actually get, you can actually, number one, cut it, it doesn't fall apart, because otherwise it's just going to make a gooey mess. You'll be cutting it and it will be so gooey and unset that it will just flake apart on you. You'll make a big mess. So you do need to allow it to cool. I would actually say that we'll put ours in our freezer to chill it faster. If that's the case, actually, truth be known, ours will probably live in the freezer. It'd be a nighttime treat for hubby and I when the kids are in bed. So that's what we would do, is actually leave it in there and just get it out as we need it, so that we're not eating it all in one go. So just getting the last of this out. This mixture is just absolutely beautiful. And then we'll just spread it out. Now, the way that they make it fancy, if you are trying to do cafe at home, is icing sugar. Dusting of icing sugar on all your baking treats is how they make it present so beautifully at cafes. So that is just a little trick that you can use if you are having people over or going for a picnic and you're taking this along. You know, that's what you can do, is just sprinkle the icing sugar once it's cut, and it just makes it look next level. Really simple, but really fancy. So, brownie, gluten-free and all, in the Thermomix with ease. How cool is that? So if I can help you with anything regarding the Thermomix, reach out. But thanks for joining me today. Do share this with friends and family who need the ease the Thermomix brings, or maybe they just actually need to make the gluten-free gluten-free brownie for you so that you can have one as well. It is a perfect gifting brownie as well. So if you are looking at things at the end of the year like teachers' gifts, gifts for friends, then this is a beautiful one you can actually put in some cellophane and gift away as well. But otherwise, thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.